Hi guys, this is Erica from Gokce Capital.
Now before I begin, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications. In 1957, the Vine Street Expressway devoured a Philadelphia lot. It ate it up and spat out the remnants. A tiny 11-foot by 93-foot site, destined to sit vacant. Too narrow to even serve as a parking lot. Now what could be done with such a site? Could it ever be developed? And who would live in a unit that is 11 feet wide? Well, we'll find out at the end of this video. But this ragged little Philadelphia lot is a perfect example of an infill lot. And if such a lot seems like a waste of money to you, you would be wrong. So keep an open mind and listen to the top things you should know about infill lots and why they may be a worthwhile investment. Number 1. An infill lot is a piece of land that is left empty. These kinds of lots usually occur in an urban context because their defining characteristic is that they are surrounded by development. They are essentially the missing teeth in urban fabric. Having said this, infill lots can also be found in suburban contexts as well. Number 2. There are many reasons an infill lot may exist. In a suburban context, you can sometimes see infill lots when a developer creates a subdivision and attempts to market more lots or homes than the market can bear. Alternatively, a lot may be undeveloped because it is close to undesirable attributes, such as ugly sights, loud noises, or bad smells. Often infill lots are oddly shaped, very small or narrow, making them difficult to develop. But it's also possible that an infill lot could have a utility or other easement running through it that effectively makes the site unbuildable. Number 3. Do your homework when looking at an infill lot. Ask yourself the following questions. What are the zoning restrictions on the property? Perhaps it is undeveloped because any building on the lot wouldn't be able to meet certain zoning requirements, like setbacks. Are there easements or encroachments on the property? If you are looking at a lot with 2 buildings built on either side, it's possible that one of the buildings has a major encroachment that would make building difficult. Are utilities available? Perhaps a lot is vacant because for whatever reason it does not yet have access to public utilities. Maybe it is at a lower elevation than the sewer main, and thus would make it quite tricky to connect to this main. Is there environmental contamination? Perhaps the property was used as a dumping ground, or maybe there used to be a gas station or dry cleaner on it. Are there soil or terrain issues? Maybe there are expansive or weak soils on the property, or, as I often saw in infill lots in New York City, there may be large rocks on or near the surface that would be very expensive to remove. Is the property in a flood zone? And how expensive will it be to develop the lot? It's entirely possible that there's nothing technically wrong with the property, but it would just be incredibly expensive to develop simply because it is small. There's not much room for construction equipment to maneuver, and coordinating with the neighbors and providing the adequate safety protection would add up to a much larger cost than what any new building could sell for. Number 4, get on good terms with the local community. Community members often have strong feelings about infill lots. Sometimes this is a good thing. Perhaps the community has been waiting a long time for the lot to be developed. But other times, the community may be informally using the lot as a garden or recreational space and will fight any development. Number 5. Having gone through all the potential pitfalls of infill development, it's important to note that you can get a great deal on infill lots. More and more developers are buying these sites because you can often get a great price in a prime neighborhood. And finally, make sure you have the resources to develop an infill lot. Again, there's often a reason the lot has remained vacant, and that is because it requires extra resources and expertise to develop it properly. So if you do find a good deal on a property, just be sure you understand how much it is going to cost to develop the property and all the steps required. You don't want to bite off more than you can chew. But let's return to our Philadelphia property. How did the architect make this incredibly narrow lot work? Well, they used a small trick. In many jurisdictions, you are allowed to add extra height if this height is taken up by a mezzanine or a half floor. so the plan relied on a series of lofts, which did two things. It managed to fit a one-bedroom apartment in an extremely narrow context, and it also allowed for a double-height living space, making the small rooms feel spacious and open. So, with a little bit of creativity, you can make anything work. So don't be afraid to take on a challenge. Just do your research first. And do you have any stories about infill development? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down properties at gokcecapital.com/listings. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. You can email, call, or text, and we will respond as soon as possible. So thank you for listening, and more to come. You don't want to bite off more than you can chew.